So, we're doing inequalities today. Do you guys remember what inequality means?
Grant, you can't make a relationship.
Yes. It means not equal, but hey, Grant, you're done. Guys, you're done. So, for example, what are some things, if it's not what did we call the equals sentences?
Like,
We call them equations. Right? We solved a lot of equations. Mostly chapter 2 we did equations. Those are equals. If it's not equals, what is it?
unequals.
It's
Okay. Not equal is one kind of inequality. What's another one? You guys
Less
know?
than or more than.
Less than, greater than,
Less than or equal to.
less than or equal to,
Greater than or equal to.
greater than or equal to. Alright. How can we remember if this is called less than or greater than?
L.
The mouse.
Okay.
We're talking about L.
The less than one looks kind of like an L.
Oh, you know.
Also,
The alligator.
Also, if you write a really simple inequality, like remember the mouth eats the big one, then I wouldn't say 0 is greater than 1, right? I'd say 0 is less than 1. So you know that's the less than. I don't know, I think the L is probably the best trick.
No,
I was thinking alligator wants to eat the stick.
The alligator wants to, so eat the bigger one. So you wouldn't say 0 is greater than 1, so this is a less than something. Anyway, if you get confused, that's probably as good as we can do. Alright. Alright, so we're kind of doing a little bit of word problem-ish stuff at the beginning here. If I said, Jake is at most 16. If I said Jake is at most 16, what does that mean?
Is it
Greater
like
than or
above or
equal
below?
to.
He could be 16 or lower. What would that look like as an inequality?
Less than.
If he's at most 16,
Less than.
he's less than or equal to 16. Okay, what if I say Susan is at least 12?
Is greater than or equal.
Right, she could be 12 or 13 or 14. So if she could equal 12 or she could be more than 12.
Wait,
Okay,
the line means equal,
yes.
and then the,
So
for
great.
the greater than,
And this is less than or equal to,
Yeah,
greater than or equal to. So it could be either one. She could actually be 12 or she could be 13 or 14, whatever. Does that make sense?
24.
Okay, she could be 24, she could be 1,000,000 years old.
80.
Alright, okay. And what if I say his salary exceeds $100,000?
So it's less than.
His salary
Greater
exceeds would be like greater than, right?
Yeah.
$100,000.
That's a lot.
Okay, that's what it would look like in math symbols. Salary is greater than 100,000. How about, okay, here's a tricky one. What if I said his salary is not greater than $100,000?
Can you do the,
Less than.
Okay,
No.
does that mean less than 100,000? Okay, yeah, the not symbol looks like that, right? If it's not greater than $100,000, does that mean less than $100,000?
no, could be it.
Could it be $100,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not greater than $100,000, still could be $100,000, right? So what's the opposite of greater than then? Less than or equals to.
So greater than or equal to would be like less than.
So what's the opposite of less than or equal to? If it's not less than or equal to, it's
Greater.
greater than. Okay, what's the opposite of less than, do you think? If it's not less than, it's
Greater than.
greater than
Or equal to.
or equal to.
Or less than.
If it's not greater than or equal to, it's
It's less.
less than. So not only are we switching the arrow, we're also switching the equal to, not equal to part. Does that make sense? Alright. These are all opposites. The sign means not, not makes it opposite. Okay. I think we're about ready to jump in. Ready? Paxton, you ready?
Sure.
Page 146. Okay, number 1 says is at most. So you guys see it? It's matching. Some of these are going to be repeats. Number 1 says is at most. I forgot what name I said. Jake. If Jacob is at most 16, what did that mean?
Less than.
He's less than or equal to. Which option is less than or equal to? E.
Stop. That's not the way.
Oh, wait, we put, oh, dang it. We're doing the symbol or the letter?
Letter. Number 2 is matching.
But it's an equal and symbol.
Match each phrase with the equivalent and clause symbol. Yeah, still matching. Okay, number 2 is not greater than or equal to. So there's greater than or equal to. It's not that. So what's the opposite of greater than or equal to? Less than. Which option is that? B. Number 3 is not less than. So what's the opposite of less than?
Less than.
Which is C. Is at least. What did that mean? Susan is at least 12. So what does that mean?
C. D.
No.
Well, don't give me letters, give me the words. Great. If she's no, if she's at least 12, she's 12 or more, right? Greater than or equal to. So it is C.
My mom's crying.
If she's at least 12, then she is 12 or more. So it's greater than or equal to. All right. Number 5 is not, this is a new phrase, is not as much as. So this is kind of like saying,
Not equal.
Not equal.
It's E.
no. Doesn't mean not equal. So if I said your height is not as much as 6 foot, what does that mean?
Less than.
I'm not Archer.
It means less than. Okay? Means less than. So which option is that? B. Number 6 is another tricky one. Is greater than or is less than? So basically it's everything except for that number. It's bigger than the number or less than the number. So which option is that? Yeah, that's E.
E.
That reminds me we need to look at those graphs in a second. Exceeds.
Greater than.
Right. If your salary exceeds 100,000, you get greater than 1,000. What option is that? A.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay, does not exceed. So in other words, what's not greater than?
It's
Less than or equal to, which is D. Okay, we're going to start doing the odds now.
No.
So, we're doing the odds because it's not as tricky. So, listen, do you guys recall, you probably did a few of these last year, like how do we graph x is greater than 2? It's on a number line. So,
X with an arrow going the
okay, if x is greater than 2, what numbers could x be?
2.
Anything greater than 2?
Yeah, but like some examples, 3, 4, 5. Could it be 2.1?
Yes.
Okay, everything bigger than 2, right? So when we graph these today, here's how I want it to look. You don't have to make a very big graph. You can just do that. Just put 2 in the middle. Is the number 2 included in this?
No.
No. So to show 2 is not included, you put an open circle at 2. That means we're not counting 2. But I need to show all the numbers bigger than 2. So which direction should I go? Go this way. So that's the graph.
Or like this Y chart teaches us. I did not.
It was so confusing.
Yeah, because you would like say open
Hey,
circle.
okay.
Say the same thing.
So why did I draw an arrow on this?
Because
It
it's
would be
all
anything,
everything,
everything,
but two.
It means
Or-
arrows means it keeps
All of the
going.
above.
Front and
Arrows means it goes forever that way.
Can you explain why there was an open circle again? Because you said
Okay.
there wasn't a 2, but there's a 2.
The open circle means 2 is not included. So what numbers are bigger than 2? Is 2 included in that? No.
Okay.
The open circle shows I'm not holding on to this spot. This is just my starting spot. Okay, but what if I do put a greater than or equal to in there?
You fill in the circle.
Okay, that means 2 is included, so we fill it in.
The amount of inclusion is immeasurable.
Okay, how about this? Do you guys remember how to graph x is not equal to, let's say, -1?
You do an open circle and then both arrows,
Yeah.
It's gone both
right?
Do you guys know what number goes right here?
negative.
What number goes here?
Zero.
Okay, yeah, if it's not equal to -1, it can be anything else except for -1. So that's why we put an open circle at -1, and then everything else is covered like that.
Wait.
Now, when the book does it, they draw their line on top of the number line, but it's hard to see, so I draw it like right above the number line, so you can see it.
We were just told to go over it like a few times.
Yeah, I prefer this method. I'm not gonna count it wrong if you draw it on it, but it's just easier to see. Okay. Oh yeah, we're doing number 9. Okay, what does number 9 mean? Number 9 means we're supposed to rewrite the inequality without the negated symbol. So if it's not greater than, then what is it?
Less than or equal.
So all you have to do is write x is less than or equal to -4. That's it.
Oh.
Number 11 says z is not greater than or equal to 21. So if it's not greater than or equal to, what is it?
Less.
Less than.
We should just have this section all
I told you it was a Good Friday assignment.
3 days, be like,
Okay, 13 says determine whether each number is a solution of the inequality. 13 says 2m is less than 4, a is -2. What do you think they mean on that?
You would put like no, or you guys stuff where you can
If you plug in the number, is it still less than 4?
Yeah, I mean, if you plug it in, does it work? So there's a lot of answers that possibly could work. Do these work? It's not going to be like A, B, or C is right. It could be all of them are right. It could be none of them are right. It could be anything. So if I plug in -2 for m, what is 2 times -2? -4. Is -4 less than 4? Yes, so I'm going to put 13a, yes. That is a solution. B is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So is 4 less than 4? No. C is 4. So what's 2 times 4? 8 is 8 less than 4.
No.
Alright, this next one's actually a little bit tricky. 16 is tricky. Okay, well, so the tricky thing is they put r squared minus 2 is not greater than -1. We need to turn this into something that makes sense. What does not greater than actually mean?
What's the right?
Less than or equal to. So this is what we actually need to use. Okay. A is 0. So what is 0 squared? 0 times 0 is 0 minus 2.
-2.
Is negative 2
Yes.
less than or equal to negative 1?
Yes.
Yeah, negatives are backwards, right? Negative 2 is actually a smaller number than negative 1 is. Because you're going negative. Like negative $1 million is really, really small. You don't want negative $1 million.
Like Olivia's title.
Olivia's high. Olivia's average height.
I'm still trying.
Interesting.
And this video's gonna get so many likes for that. If,
Also, because
if you're in the recording.
Okay, 15B. Okay, this part, if you plug in your calculator, you would get this wrong because what? You know what you're
It's still be negative, that should be.
Okay, if you plug this in your calculator, it'll come out as negative 1. Because it'll do 1 squared and then it'll add the negative 1. But we're not supposed to just square the 1, we're supposed to square negative 1. Because we're supposed to square all of R. So it should be negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1. What is 1 minus 2? Negative 1. So, is negative 1 less than or equal to negative 1?
Yes.
Yes. You guys follow me on that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, C is 2. What is 2 squared? 4 minus 2. 2. Is 2 less than or equal to negative 1?
No.
No, it is not.
Well, you're not equal to me, X.
Okay, on 16, that's definitely the trickiest one. You guys remember what those vertical lines mean on 16?
Absolute value.
Absolute value. So you do like 7 minus 23 is negative 16. Then you do absolute value, makes it positive 16. So basically the question for the first one is 16, it says
Greater than.
not less than or equal to. So is 16 greater than 13?
Yes.
Okay, that's how it starts. So just be careful because there's a lot of tricks. You got to do the absolute value, you got to switch to inequality. All right, 17. You have to come back and do 16 in a minute. 17 says write an inequality to describe each of the graphs. Then write an equivalent negated, like with the not symbol, inequality. So 17, what is that a picture of? All the numbers bigger than 3. How would I write that? X is greater than 3. Okay, what would the negated inequality be?
X is less than or
What's the opposite of greater than?
less than.
Less than or equal to. And then you put the not symbol on it. So don't forget that these problems have 2 answers when you go back and do it. Does 19 include the number 18?
Yes.
Yes. And we want all the numbers that are 18 or above. So how would I write that?
18 is greater
X
than.
is
Greater than.
greater than or equal to 18. All the numbers greater than or equal to 18. What's the opposite of greater than or equal to?
Less than.
Less than. X is not less than 18.
Yes, sir.
21 graph. X is less than 4. So I'm just going to put 3, 4, 5. Should I have an open or closed circle on 21?
What do you mean? Like
Open.
shaded or not?
Open means not shaded. So, because 4 is not included, it's not less than or equal to, it's just less than. Where are all the numbers less than 4 at?
3, 2.
Very down.
That way. Notice that the less than symbol kind of matches my arrow. You guys see that?
Yeah.
They look the same. Okay, that almost always works unless they put it backwards. In that case, like if X is on the other side, it won't work. But they usually put X on the front side. Alright, except for number 24. 23. Let's see, is 5. You guys remember how I graphed not equal to 5?
Yeah. Open.
4, 5, 6. Open circle at 5. Everything
Yeah,
else.
it's everywhere.
Okay, I should probably give you a warning on 24.
Oh no. Oh, that's.
What does this mean? Negative
X is greater
1.
than -1.
This means -1 is less than X, or in other words, X is
Greater.
greater than -1. So you might, just so you're not confused, like switch it around to normal order. Either way, X is the big one, right? X is bigger than that.
Oh, I see.
So you kind of have to read it backwards when they do that. Oh, sorry guys. I said 24, but we're actually doing 26. My bad. One more.
So we're doing 25 and 26 or?
25 and 26.
Okay.
Okay. Where is 1.2 at?
It's right there.
Between 1 and 2.
Between 1 and 2. I'll just put 1, 2, 3. You could just put like 1 and 2 and place it carefully. But is this going to be an open or closed circle at 1.2? Closed, because it says less than or equal to. So 1.2 is included. Where's 1.2 at?
Fifth of its 2, right?
Yeah, it's 2/10 of the way between 1 and 2. So about right there. If you took 10 steps, it would be the second step over. And I'll make that a little bit bigger.
I felt the original page was.
It's less than or equal to, so which direction am I
It's
going?
gone. It's going towards the one.
Left. Alright, you guys still got like 25 minutes. That's a lot of time. And we already did 8, right?
Basically half redone.